We're going to go now to Charlottesville, Virginia. We were just talking about Virginia, one of the key swing states that Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan need to win in order to get over the top in this election. Larry Sabato is a professor there, standing by, longtime political analyst. Larry, thanks for being with us. Let's talk about your home state there for just a minute. How do you think things are playing for Romney and Ryan in Virginia at the moment?
Well, I actually just got back here from Tampa just a couple of hours ago and was held up for an extra hour by traffic tied up by President Obama's visit to Charlottesville today. He left a little late. So I'm of, two opinions about it. On the one hand, the president cost me an hour. On the other hand, he had an enormous crowd that showed up in this college community, which I suppose isn't such a great surprise. On the whole, Virginia really is living up to its reputation as the new super swing state, the new Ohio. It is extremely close here, and people on both sides tell me that every indication they have, not just the polls, is that this state is really on the knife's edge between the two of them.
Did you ever think Virginia would become the ultimate swing state in a presidential election?
When I was growing up in the 50s, if you had said Virginia would be the ultimate swing state, we had a nice padded room for you near here.
What's your view of the rest of the country? How are you seeing Ohio right now?
Well, again, I think Ohio's close. The odd thing is Obama seems to be doing a little bit better in Ohio than he is in some other swing states. I do think it's because of the nature of Ohio and of the independent swing voters in Ohio. They tend to be middle class, and I think they have responded to President Obama's negative attacks on Romney. This has almost become a class thing.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about that, we were talking about this just a minute ago, Larry, the Obama attacks on Romney clearly have taken their toll. But they've spent 2 weeks trying to demonize Paul Ryan and trying to make his Medicare plan scary to senior citizens. And from what I'm seeing, that doesn't seem to have worked very well.
It doesn't seem to be working to me. I haven't seen it in any of the surveys that I've looked at. Maybe part of it is that vice presidential candidates just don't rise to the level where most people pay that much attention to what they say. But I also think that Ryan's image is very positive and upbeat. And, as Ronald Reagan showed, as John F. Kennedy showed, to make it bipartisan, sometimes you can sell unpopular policies if you deliver it with a smile. And if you take the time to explain to people in language they can understand why something is important. That really is Ryan's challenge tonight. He's got to explain some of these complicated budget proposals in simple language, direct language that people watching at home can get.
I want to ask you the question I asked Mary Kissel a minute ago, because my reading of Republican politics for the last 4 decades is they've really tried to stay away from the budget issues and focus on tax issues. They were selling tax cuts because that was the good side of the equation, and the spending cuts were less popular. So in that sense, Paul Ryan is a real change for the party to have somebody who goes spending cuts first. At this equation. You think the country and the electorate is ready for that?
We're going to find out. Maybe in a sense, the Romney-Ryan ticket balances this. On the one hand, you're going to have Ryan presenting the budget side of the equation, and it does involve pain. It does involve unpleasant medicine. But there's also an economic growth component to it, a big economic growth component to it, tax cuts and the like. And perhaps we'll find out Thursday night, but perhaps that's what Romney's going to sell. You put the two pieces together, given what happened in 2010 with the Tea Party, with the general concerns about the debt and the deficit, and it might turn into a winning combination. Might.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. Now, Larry, I got castigated earlier this evening by Karl Rove for suggesting that super PACs were a perversion of the political process. And it wasn't so much that he disagreed with the point. He just said that the Democrats have been doing it with labor unions, et cetera, for a long time. And so, don't tell him that the Republican super PACs are a perversion. But you've written about this, you've studied this, that when you when the spending leaves the control of the party or the candidate, it increases negative campaigning because there's no cost. They don't have to pay the price. Do you think, first of all, do you agree with that? And second, do you think there's any chance it's going to change after this election?
Well, for 30 years, I've argued against spending limits. So I can't change now and say just because super PACs have organized in the way that they have, that it's wrong to have this, in essence, unlimited spending. Here's what I'm concerned about, and I bet you agree with me. I'm concerned because so much of the spending is hidden. Look, I'm in favor of unlimited spending, but I want it disclosed. It is essential for the press and public to be able to determine where the money comes from and where it's going. It's government and politics and the sunshine rather than the shade, and that prevents corruption. But as far as spending, I have no problems.
Is that a sellable? I do agree with you, as a matter of fact. Is that a sellable proposition? Is there any chance that anyone after this election will be able to say, you know what, the spending limit thing obviously has created a perversion of the process. Let's get rid of it. Let's just say, yeah, you can spend what you want to spend, but it all has to be disclosed so that the public knows and people can make their decisions based on that.
Well, I'd like to think so. I've been disturbed to find that people who are giving a large sums of money prefer to keep this quiet if they can. That way they can give the money. The individuals who are running for office know where the money's coming from. But these individuals who are giving it don't have to go on the record, so they don't get any of the blowback.
Yeah. Larry Sabato, great to have you with us. Glad you made it in spite of the traffic jam that the president caused there in Charlottesville today. Lucky for you that this election you happen to be in what appears to be the ultimate swing state of Virginia. Thanks for spending a little time with us.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.